Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to talk about what is the Wheel of Time according to the comments in our trailer reaction video. So, if you're unaware, a couple of days ago, sometime during the week or last week, there was a new video, a trailer released from Amazon about a new series that they're putting out. They're producing it. It's called The Wheel of Time. Now, I had no idea what The Wheel of Time was, and I still haven't really looked into it as much because I wanted to make this video as a thank you to everyone that watched and commented on our trailer reaction. It's one of our most popular videos on the channel, and I'm very excited to actually dive into like the Wheel of Time proper. But before that, I wanted to just go through the comments. I read all the comments, picked out a few things. So let's just go through everything and we'll talk more about what is the Wheel of Time according to the comments on our last video. So the first thing we're going to talk about, what is the Wheel of Time overall? Like, I don't know what it is. So we have here, we have a comment from Mega0x7. The Wheel of Time is a very popular series of 14 books that came out from 1990 to 2013. That Game of Thrones didn't beat in total sales until the late 2010s. The fandom is large and has been excited about this for a long time. Then Hardlin also commented, a few facts about Wheel of Time: 14 big books, one novella prequel, and two fact books. 4.4 million words. There was a lot of people that mentioned the amount of words in the comments, which is really exciting. Over 10,000 pages, 2,782 named characters, including several dozen, with POV chapters, very well fleshed out world building, covering 3,000 years of history. So, looking at this, just from reading comments like that, this seems massive, like a massive undertaking, a really huge fantasy series. I can definitely see why there's so many fans of the series immediately, and everybody was really cool and accepting in the comments immediately. It's like a very good fandom that just wants more people to experience the Wheel of Time. So next, we'll tackle how extensive is the series. So we have Cheyenne Al Sheridan. You probably not heard about it because in the video I mentioned I had never heard of Wheel of Time. So you probably not heard about it because of how intimidating the series is to non-fantasy readers like me. Uh, uh, 14 books plus the prequel, 4.4 million words. See, like I mentioned, a lot of people mentioned the total number of words, which I love that fact. But it's an amazing fandom, and I can vouch for that now. Just one of the most welcoming I've ever encountered, as I was mentioning. We also have Nemo Nova. There are 15 books if you count the prequel, and 16 if you want to count the companion book. The series is bigger than Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Hobbit, and The Silmarillion, Game of Thrones, all three Bibles, War and Peace, and the Harry Potter series, all combined. Um, Watch Unraveling the Pattern channel for what is the Wheel of Time. He gives an excellent explanation of the book series, so go check that out. The first Wheel of Time book was published 6 years ago, before the first was published 6 years before the first Game of Thrones book. So that's very interesting. So let's tackle those two before we move on to this big one. So like I mentioned, fandom, very inclusive, very welcoming. I love that. I also love how much like the comparison of like all the things that you could add up together and still wouldn't be as big as the Wheel of Time. So let's move on to the last comment from K. Richard J. This is a gigantic book series that really can't be explained in this space, but I've come up with the world as it is paragraph. Thank you for that summary. When the Roman Empire fell, a world of two languages, trade, metropolitan living, diversity, and knowledge was replaced with hundreds of tribal languages, starvation, pillage, and loss of knowledge. Oh my goodness. The church was the only surviving institution. Well, in the age previous, this land was united in the magic of one force. The Dark One was in prison, peace reigned, riches were plentiful, Great cities connected by physical and magical highways thrived. That sounds dope. But the Dark One had poisoned the male part of the Force. Men went mad, and the leader, the dragon, broke the world. Only the female users of the Force held the land together and maintained ancient libraries and devices. In the Dark Ages that followed, they tried to bring back civilization and prevent another male from becoming the Dragon Reborn. That sounds daunting. The Great Tower you see is the Women's Fortress City. The volcano in the distance is where the dragon killed his family and broke the world. Oh, okay, that's very cool. I need to go back and rewatch the trailer. The Dark One is breaking his seals, and Mariner claiming to be the Dragon Reborn. Oh, wow. And pathetically inadequate and simplified as it should, given a starting point from the vast drama that follows. K. Richard, I feel that was, for somebody that's never really read any of this stuff or even heard of it, I think that was pretty well put. But you guys let me know in the comments of the video. So the next thing we're going to talk about, what is the Wheel of Time about? Which we got a pretty good summary in the previous description, but let's go a little bit more into some of the other comments. We have Tyrion Traken. The Wheel of Time is high fantasy epic where the world's source of evil cursed all male magic users. This makes female magic users nearly all powerful and dooms male magic users, including the prophesied chosen one, to eventual delusions, hallucinations, and similar side effects. Can the Dark One be defeated before he loses touch with reality? I'm really interested in this Lord of the Dark One now. Dandy Johnson says the classic hero's journey in which he has to unite humankind against the great evil. However, his greatest battles take place within himself and overcoming gender struggles and divided population that almost seem to not want to be saved. It is completely unique in that people that he's trying to save are rooted in the conflicts. And I think it kind of cuts off from there. I wasn't able to see what the rest of it said, but and then Jason M, epic story of light versus dark, a looming final battle between the Dark One and the Dragon. Magic is referred to as channeling. That's the first time I've read that term. And they weave spells like a tapestry. It is considerably grounded compared to some other fantasy series. I think that's pretty cool. Like I said, the struggle here between light and dark, it's something we can all relate to if you've really pretty much been a fan of any genre media. Star Wars, Harry Potter, like all that stuff. This whole channeling and weaving of spells sounds super cool, and the fact that the series is more grounded fantasy, I think will be a good entry point for people that have really never gone into fantasy. Let's talk about now some real world facts about the Wheel of Time. Jason Fifield, apologies if I mispronounce anybody's username. Production values will be very high since they are spending approximately $8 million per episode. Amazon/Sony have already greenlit seasons 2, which are filming now. Book series has sold over 90 million copies. So Wheel of Time has a huge worldwide fandom. I can definitely see that, Jason. Two Rivers Badger. I really hope some of these names are references to the Wheel of Time that I don't understand, and maybe later on I'll be like, oh wait, that was a thing. So the series is fully complete thanks to Brandon Sanderson, which is something that I did see a lot. Since the original author passed away after the book 11 was published, there is an incomplete graphic novel of the first book, I believe, which I'm actually looking for. So look for a video in the future about that. Not amazing, but likable. It is a series with incredible character arcs. The trailer looks very good for most fans. Some have wept during their first. Listen, I'm all about comic books, so I'll definitely look into that graphic novel. I think it'll be a good entry point for me. Here we have Shirtbird Mango. Happy to hear you enjoyed it. Thank you. The Wheel of Time fandom does not mind the comparison to The Lord of the Rings. It's what the author does after he leaves those tropes behind that is epic. I hope you enjoyed the series. I really hope I enjoy it as well. I'm very excited. Like, this is one thing that I don't know. It just feels like this kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm very excited. So speaking of comparisons between Lord of the Rings and this and other series, The Wheel of Time, how does it stack up against other book series? We'll start with Rachel Sadai. I love the series. I've waited for years for it to happen, and I can't believe it's happening. This story has influenced so many other fantasy stories. Let me know down in the comments what other things have been influenced um, by the Wheel of Time. Timothy Walsh. So The Wheel of Time is probably one of the best stories ever written to page. It has similar tropes to Lord of the Rings, but that's because at the time books were published, publishers would only publish books that were similar to Tolkien's novels. That makes sense. However, throughout the Wheel of Time series, Robert Jordan, who is the author, I'm glad somebody, yeah, I'm glad somebody actually put the author's name down. Intentionally subverted these tropes and took them in new directions. Because of this, Wheel of Time is considered to be the bridge between classic fantasy and modern fantasy. The general story. Okay, we've already talked a little bit about the story, so I'll skip over that. And then Tyrion Tracken again. 2 comments. Thank you for this. I've seen stats put in Wheel of Time and Game of Thrones book sales as nearly tied, and I expect Wheel of Time will surpass Game of Thrones soon due to the TV show. You know what? I completely get that. I expect that as well. If these stats are correct, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? I think the Game of Thrones books skyrocketed in sales. So now, these are a lot of fun. So, are people excited about the Wheel of Time? My buddy Hudson, greatest story ever told, and then the UAs. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna let you know. We've been waiting for. Oh, well, you guys know what that means. I'm not as cool as the rest of y'all, but thanks for the comments there. I'm glad people are excited for this. We have a couple more things to go. This one I had to actually. This is the first time I actually Googled something. I think that was all the real comments about the show. Somebody mentioned Dylan Borg mentioned you look like you would be a good Ashman. LOL. I Googled Ashman. This is what it looks like. Uh, I'll take the compliment. Thank you very much. If you were talking about me, if you were talking about somebody else in the comments, but the Ashman looks cool. I'm probably not saying that right because when I Googled it, there was um, the name was spelled almost like that, but there was a little space in between the name. The last thing I have is I actually did just go to Wikipedia real quick and just grab like the main series, and yeah, everything that you guys have said pretty much checks out. Uh, Robert Jordan with Brandon Sanderson finished the novels. Um, I'm surprised I had never heard of these. They're very contemporary. So, but you guys already know this because you're Wheel of Time experts. But this was just for me to show you that I'm starting to do the research and look into it. The next thing we're going to do is look into that graphic novel because you guys know here at Next Issue Podcast, we love our comics. Um, and they're a great entry point for really any property. So hopefully they're good. Yeah. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know down in the comments some more stuff that you love about the series, things that you want us to cover. Maybe. I don't think we'll start reading the books yet. I've talked to my co-host about this. I don't think we'll start reading the books yet. I think we want to get into the show first, and maybe in between seasons, actually start digging into the books. But I want to see what the adaptation looks like without any of the source material in my head, because I feel like the source material for the most part is always better. So I can only be not disappointed, but I can only be a little bit let down if the TV show is not as good. But the trailer looks great, and the stuff you guys have been saying like just has me really excited. So thanks for watching, everyone. We appreciate all the new subscribers to the channel. Like I said, we'll keep covering Wheel of Time as more stuff comes out. And yeah, thanks for leaving the comments. This video was really for all y'all that left comments, so I appreciate that. And thanks for watching. Remember to share, like, subscribe, leave more comments, hit the bell for notifications. We do have a Patreon. It's in the description. We don't have tiers or anything. It's just kind of like a tip jar. But we do a raffle. And you know what? I may get some of these Wheel of Time books and start giving some of those out in the future. So keep an eye out for that. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.